Hey, what's up everybody? This is UnhingedGaming and I'm coming in hot with some more fresh high quality content. Today, I'm talking about some pretty big news in the YouTube world that happened, was released as far as I know, just like a few days ago. And that is that a channel named PragerU sued YouTube. This is a conservative channel that's talking about politics and other things, including some very controversial topics, including women's rights, climate change, so on and so forth. I'm not really familiar with the channel. I haven't watched any of their videos. They do definitely seem to have some controversial opinions, and just judging by the thumbnails and the titles, I'd say that there's definitely some things that I don't agree with. But what essentially happened is, over the course, this channel started in 2011, and since then, YouTube has turned restricted mode on for at least 37 of their videos that did not break any sort of community guidelines or anything to cause AgeGate to be on. And so this channel is essentially claiming that's breaking their First Amendment right, and therefore, you know, they're violating freedom of expression, essentially. And it's a really major thing that's happening right now, because it can have some very big implications for all across YouTube. You know, I don't really care about this channel in particular, but this is a very major thing that's happening. So the first thing that I want to talk about, because there's a lot of controversy around this right now, is, does YouTube's license give them the right to take down these videos, or make them, they're not taken down, they're just put into restricted mode. So it's the same as age restriction. Basically, you can have it turned off so that you don't see those, and they're, you know, like sensitive content. Usually it is something sexual or something like that that causes this. So the first question is really, do they have the right to do this? And as far as I know, the unfortunate truth is they do, because I haven't read the terms and agreements in a while, but I do recall at least being in there that they can restrict or take down any videos at their discretion for any reason. YouTube does own everything that's on YouTube, and so the First Amendment right doesn't really apply here, because YouTube owns everything on YouTube, and they can, at their sole discretion, take anything down. So that doesn't necessarily mean that PragerU is wrong for doing this, and that's kind of the next thing I'm going to talk about is, you know, what's the point of this lawsuit, and are they likely to win? Now, it's worth noting that at the time of my recording this, YouTube has not responded legally in any way, and they're likely not to for a while. These things tend to take a long time. But is PragerU going to win? Probably not. Let's face it, when you sue the second biggest search engine in existence, you're probably not going to win that lawsuit. They have a lot of money and a lot of good lawyers. So does that mean that they're kind of losing? Like, what's the point of this then? And I don't think that it's like a bad thing necessarily. They're going to lose. I don't think that that means anything, because I don't think that they're trying to win, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think they're expecting to win. I think that they're making a statement. And I personally, as much as I don't necessarily agree with a lot of these sort of conservative opinions, they have a right to those opinions, just like I have, you know, I'm stating my opinions on YouTube right now. So I think it's great that they're standing up for themselves. I think that that's a good, you know, letting YouTube know that, like, hey, we're noticing this and we're not all right with it. And, like, I think you're being a dick, essentially. And so something that I do want to say with that is that even though it's not against anything, as far as I know, it's worth noting that there are other channels, such as, say, Think Tank, that discuss political issues often from the liberal standpoint, and they discuss just as controversial of topics such as what's now being called rape insurance in Texas, and things like that that are very, you know, very women's rights and, you know, sexism and racism and all of these things. And I have yet to see any of those videos get restricted in any way. So there does seem to be a certain level of bias here, which I don't think is okay. So what is kind of the implications of this? Like, what is likely to happen? And the thing is that even though PragerU is not likely to win this lawsuit, there's really only two actions that YouTube can take at this point, and that is either to put those videos back up and be a bit more objective when, or not put them back up, you know, unrestrict them, and be a bit more objective with their restrictions, or the other thing that they can do is start restricting objectively and just indiscriminately anything that has any sort of controversy or political opinion, which will, you know, that could, as I've talked about in my previous videos, YouTube's kind of going that direction where things could get restricted even more and it can be even harder to be a creator. But I don't think that that's a route they're likely to go, because they're kind of digging their own grave with that already, and I think that they're starting to realize that. So I think it's much more likely that what's going to happen is they're going to, you know, start being less, you know, again, this is a statement, and I think it's a really good statement. And it's fighting for all of YouTube, all creators, and I respect that. Like, again, I'm not like condoning a lot of these opinions. I'm not siding one way or the other. I don't agree with a lot of things. A lot of these things that they seem to, again, I haven't watched the videos, but just judging from the tone of it. But I think that, you know, they are fighting for creative expression, and that is something respectable. And YouTube is kind of going in the direction of kind of stomping on that. So I think that this is something that's going to drag out a long time, but I think it's ultimately going to lead to YouTube having to choose between being a bit more objective and saying, okay, well, everyone has their right to freedom of expression, and we're not going to keep, you know, demonetizing and restricting all of these things because we can't pick and choose, you know, who gets to express their opinions. Or it's going to lead to where no opinion can be expressed under any circumstances, which would be very dire for YouTube, the industry, the company, and the community. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Does PragerU have the right to this lawsuit? Does YouTube have the right to be taking these videos down? And what do you think that means for YouTube as a whole? What do you think? How do you think YouTube should deal with this situation? I look forward to seeing your opinions. While you're down there, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and also subscribe if you want to see more, and hit that notification bell. I do upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Also follow me on Twitter at UnhingedTweetYT, where I post video updates. And if you want to see what goes into the gameplay portion of these videos, you should also check out my Twitch at UnhingedGamingYT, where I do streams usually every Sunday, and then some just throughout the week. Those tend to be no commentary. You know, if you want to see the unedited gameplay, which I look a lot better when I cut it down. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been Unhinged Gaming, and I will see you next time.